Hello everyone, my name is Safira and I'm going to demonstrate the website that I've been working on the past few weeks called Upperture. It's a social media website that works like Instagram, where you can post pictures and view pictures posted by other users with other features such as likes and comments. This is my first individual project for Purwadika Digital Technology School pre-bootcamp requirement, made using React.js, Node.js, and MySQL. The feature acceptance criteria are made by Purwadika, and I will show them in this video. Also, the timestamps for the video and links to the GitHub repositories are available in the description box. Without further ado, here is a quick overview of the website. Hope you enjoy! For user authentication, we got register, login, verification, and reset password. First, let's look at register. And here are the feature acceptance criteria. You can pause the video if you need to. Alright, so here is the landing page of our website. As you can see right here on the right side, we can log in if we already have an account. But since we haven't made an account yet, let's sign up. If we haven't entered anything yet on these fields, then the sign up button will be disabled. As you can see right here, we can click on it. If we click on the username and we click elsewhere, then it will say that this field is required. The same if we click on email and click elsewhere. Same with password and repeat password. Now let's enter a username. The username is valid if it's between 3 to 20 characters and if it only contains letters, numbers, and underscores. So for example, test is a valid username format. Test_1 is a valid username format. But if we enter something like a dot, then it will produce an error. And the same if we enter a comma or an exclamation mark or any other symbol. Now let's try to erase the characters. And if we have less than 3 characters, then it will say minimum 3 characters. Now let's try to enter a lot of characters. For example, test with a lot of T's. If we've reached 20 characters, then we can't enter anything anymore because I've set the maximum length to 20 characters. Now let's enter something that I've already entered before. For example, test1 is already taken. It's without the underscore. And now let's enter test2, it's already taken too. Test3 already taken. 4, 5, as you can see, I've already made a lot of test accounts. So let's try to not use test as our username. For example, let's enter Jane Doe. It's available. So now let's move on to email. For the email, the format is always validated every time we enter something on the field. For example, if we enter A, then it will say invalid email format. And if we enter a@mail.com, then it will be a valid email format. But obviously it's not a real email account, so let's enter something that I've already entered before. For example, kaufheimer@gmail.com, and it will say that email is already registered. So now let's try to enter something else. For example, safiraputi@gmail.com, and it's not taken yet, so we're safe here. We can enter our password. The password should contain at least 8 characters, including an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a symbol, and a number. Now let's enter our password. And we can toggle the visibility by clicking on this button right here. As you can see, we haven't entered any number or symbols yet, and it says weak password. So now let's enter numbers and a symbol, and the error disappears. Now we can enter any other symbol than exclamation mark. For example, we can enter @ or hashtag or a $sign or anything, but let's stick to exclamation mark for now. And let's try to erase the numbers, and it will say weak password. The same if we erase the capital letter, weak password, and also the lowercase letter. So we need all of them to make the password legit. Okay, now let's repeat the password. We can toggle the visibility of the repeat password also, and it's separate from the password. Now, if it's not the same with the password we entered before, it will say that passwords don't match. So let's make it a match. And the error disappears. Now we can sign up. As you can see, the button is lit up. But if we try to change the username, for example, make it invalid, then we cannot sign up anymore, and we have to make everything valid for it to be working. Now let's try signing up. As you can see right here, while the page is loading, we can click on the sign up button, and registration success. To continue using Upperture, check your email and verify your account. So our account is unverified from the start, and we can only verify it by clicking on the link that is sent via the email. So now let's check our email. And there we go, we have the email sent already. And it is here. We can verify our account by clicking on this button right here. But for now, let's move on to login next. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for login. And let's try logging in. We can log in by entering our username or email right here. For now, let's enter our username, which was Jane Doe. But actually, let's make it wrong for now. And let's enter whatever for the password. We can toggle the visibility of the password by clicking on this button right here. Now let's log in. And it will say that account is not found. So let's try logging in with the correct account, Jane Doe, and whatever for the password. And it will say that we have an incorrect password. Now let's enter the correct credentials. And we are logged in, but we can't access the features of the websites yet because we haven't verified our account. So we have to click on this button right here, but let's not do that for now. Let's try if we can go back to the landing page by manually changing the URL right like this. And we can't because we are technically logged in. So to sign out, we can click on this button right here to log in or sign up with another account. So let's click on this button right here, and let's sign in with an email or a username that has been verified, which is safirapc, and the password was like that, and we are successfully redirected to home. let's try going back to the landing page manually. And we can't because we are logged in, so that page is protected. And let's try to go to unconfirmed, and we also can't because this account is confirmed. Now let's try logging out, and let's try logging in with an email instead, which was safiraputi@gmail.com, and password was password123. Let's see if it's correct. Okay, we got it right. Now we can also see that the button right here is disabled, even though it was just for a bit when the page was loading. And now we are back to this page. Now let's see if we can go to home from this page. And we can't because we haven't confirmed our account yet. So now let's move on to confirmation, so we can go to the home page by using our registered account. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for verification. And now let's verify our account. So as you can see right here, we already have an email that was sent from the registration process, but let's try to resend the verification email so that we can see how the old token gets deactivated. We can resend the email right here, and email has been sent. Let's check our inbox. This might take a while. And here we go. We already have our new verification email. As you can see right here, when we hover to the button, there's the link on the bottom that says localhost 3000/confirmation/EY etc. The EY etc. part is the token, and the token ends with JBAY-V0. And this new link has the token that ends with KFLH_K. So you can see that the links are both unique. Actually, let's try to send one more. And let's wait for it to arrive. Here we go. As you can see right here, this one ends with IFQY, so all of these links are unique. Let's try to first verify our account by clicking this button right here. And this token should be invalidated because it was sent first. And we got the message that the token has been deactivated. If we press this button to go back to home, we will be redirected to this page that says that we have to verify our account. So let's close this and let's try the second email. This should be invalidated as well because this is not the newest email. And it is indeed deactivated. So let's now try the most recent email, which is this one. And it works. We are automatically verified and we will be redirected to the home page. When we are redirected to the home page, that means we are automatically logged in. So now we can enjoy the features of the website fully. But for now, let's move on to forget password. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for reset password. Now let's reset our password. We can click on this link right here and we will be prompted to enter our email. So now let's try to enter an invalid email format. And as you can see, the submit email button is disabled. But if we've entered a valid email format, the button will be enabled. but we will see that the email has not been registered yet. So let's enter our actual email, which was safiraputi@gmail.com. And as you can see, while we're submitting, the button was disabled. Email has been sent. Let's check our inbox for now. And here we go. We got our email to reset our password. We can click on this button right here to reset our password, but first let's try to resend the email so we can see how the old token gets deactivated. Our email was safiraputi@gmail.com. Let's submit it. And let's wait for the email to appear in our inbox. And here we go. We got our second email. Let's see the link for the first email. As you can see on the bottom right there, it says localhost 3000/reset password/EYJH something something. And it ends with W2IAU, while this one ends with H8KO. As you can see, both of these emails are unique, have unique links. Now let's try to reset password by clicking on this old email link. And as you can see, the token has been deactivated and we have to check our newest email. If we click on this go back to home button right here, we will be redirected to the landing page. Now let's try to click on this newest button right here. And we are here. We can change our password. Now let's try to enter a password that's not valid. As you can see right here, the requirement is the same as the password in the register page. So it has to contain at least 8 characters, including an uppercase letter, lowercase letter, symbol, and a number. So if we enter password like this, it's still a weak password. If we enter 1, 2, 3 and an exclamation mark, then it's a valid password. But it was the same as our old password, so let's change the number to 234. And we can toggle the visibility also. And let's repeat the password. If it's not a match, it will say that passwords don't match. We can toggle the visibility. Now let's make it a match. Password 234. And now we can reset our password. As you can see, if the fields are not valid yet, we can click on the reset password button. Now when we click on it, we will be automatically redirected to the landing page. Our password has been reset. Now let's try logging in with our old password. Our account was safiraputi@gmail.com. And our old password was password123. You'll see that we have an incorrect password. Now let's log in with our newest password, which is password234. And we are successfully logged in. The reset password button was successful. Now let's move on to user profiling. For user profiling, we got user info and detail, and also user posts and likes. Now let's move on to user info. And here are the feature acceptance criteria. Alright, so let's go to our profile. As you can see right here, our profile is still empty since we've just registered. We have no posts yet and we can only see our username. But we can edit our profile by clicking this button right here. And now we can add a profile picture. For the profile picture, we cannot choose anything over 5 megabytes. So for example, this picture right here is 7 megabytes. Let's try it. And it will say that our file size is too big. Now let's try to enter something that's not an image. For example, right here, I've got a Word document. And it will say that this file type is not supported. So let's enter a valid image for now. And let's choose this image, for example. And now we can zoom in and crop the image however we like. For example, let's select this corner right here, crop and save. And our profile picture is updated. Now we can change our username. If we erase our username to be less than 3 characters, it will say that username must be between 3 to 20 characters, containing only letters, numbers, and underscores. Now let's try to add a lot of characters. And as you can see, if we already reached 20 characters, we cannot add anything anymore. And the error will also appear if we enter something like an exclamation mark or other symbols other than underscore. Now let's try to enter a username that's already been taken. And it will say that username already taken. Also, if we have an error message right there, we can see that the save button is disabled, so we cannot have an error message. Let's enter a valid username. For example, let's change our username to just Jane, and our full name Jane Doe, and our bio. This is a bio. Let's save it. And our profile has been updated. As you can see right here, we have our username, our full name, and our bio. For the email, I feel like it's too private to be displayed on our profile page, so I display the email on settings right here. As you can see, the email cannot be changed, and we have our account status, which is verified. Since we have verified our account, we cannot send the verification email anymore. And we can also change our password right here, but let's visit this feature later. And let's move on to user posts and likes for now. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for user posts and likes. Now let's go to our profile. And as you can see right here, we have no post yet because we haven't posted anything. The same with liked posts. We haven't liked anything, so there's no liked post yet. Let's go to home and like some posts. For example, this one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've already liked 6 posts. Now let's go to our like post page. And we can see the 6 posts that we just liked. Now let's go to one of the user's profile, for example, Bread Cat right here. And we can see the post that they have created. And we can also see the number of likes and comments on each post. And on other users' profile, there's no edit profile button, unlike our own profile, which we can see right here. We have this edit button profile in our own profile. Now let's enter a post. Let's upload a post so we can see it in our own page. For example, picture, royalty free. Let's choose this plant right here and add a caption. Plant. And we have uploaded a picture, and we can see it in our own profile right here. that we've already just posted. We can also see it at home. Now let's look at how we can upload the pictures in more detail next. For content upload or edit, we can create or post a content, edit the content, delete the content, or share content, which is SSR, which is also a bonus. Now let's look at create or post content. And here are the feature acceptance criteria. Alright, now let's upload our post by clicking this button right here and choose our image. Now the limit for the image is 5 megabytes, so let's try to add something that's more than that. For example, this image is 5.59 megabytes. And it will say that our file size is too big. Now let's try to enter a document which is not an image. For example, this document right here. And it will say that this file type is not supported. So let's choose a real image for now. For example, this picture of plants right here. And we can zoom in, zoom out, and crop the picture however we like. For example, let's crop it here. And if we haven't entered any caption yet, we cannot submit because caption cannot be empty. So let's enter our caption. For example, plants are awesome. Oops. Okay, now let's crop and submit. And success! We can view our post at home or our profile. And the page will be automatically reloaded. And we can see our post right here. We can see the media, which is an image, and we can see the username, the date of which the post was created, and the number of likes. Since it was just created, the number of likes is still 0, but if we like this, it will turn to 1. But let's not like our own post. To see the caption, we have to click on the image and see the post detail. The caption is here. Now if we click on Open Image in New tab, we can see that the image is stored in localhost 3001, which is our own localhost and not a third-party website. Okay, now let's look at how we can edit the caption and delete the post next. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for edit content and delete content. Alright, now let's try to edit our caption by clicking this button right here. And we can edit our caption. For example, let's add, we should plant more plants. And save the caption. And as you can see, the caption is automatically updated. And also we can't add more than 300 characters. So if we add too many characters, for example, let's copy and paste this. This is the maximum length. We cannot add anything anymore. Now let's delete this. And save our caption once again. And to delete the post, we have to click on this button right here. And we can delete the post. We will get a prompt to make sure that we really want to delete the post. And let's click cancel for now. It will cancel the request. And now let's actually delete this post. And the post has been deleted. As we can see, at home there's no more post that says that plants are awesome. So sad. Now let's look at other people's content. For example, this post right here. And we can see that there's no edit caption button and there's no delete button right here. Alright, so next let's move on to share content SSR. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for content sharing. And unfortunately, we can't complete point number 3 because I'm using client-side rendering instead of server-side rendering. But let's see how we can complete point number 1 and 2. So on this button right here, we can share the post or copy the link. Let's try copying the link for now and paste it here. And as you can see, it's the same page as the one that we just went to. And it is the same post. Now let's try to share the content to WhatsApp. And the loading might take a while, so let's also share to Twitter and Facebook. Now let's see Twitter. And here we go. Check out this awesome post from Upperture, and this is the link to the post. Now Facebook. Check out this awesome post from Upperture. And on Facebook, we can't post localhost 3000 because it is not a valid URL. So I use example domain here. But we can change it once we've deployed the website. Now for WhatsApp. It's still loading. Let's wait a bit more. And it's open. Let's send the link to this group right here. And we can see here, check out this awesome post from Upperture, localhost 3000/post/the post ID. Alright, so that's it for content sharing. Now let's move on to content interaction. For content interaction, we got fetching posts, post detail, comment, and like or unlike. Now let's look at fetching posts. And here are the feature acceptance criteria. Alright, now let's open the network tab and throttle the network to slower ones, for example regular 3G, to make it more clear how the page loads. Now let's go home. And as you can see right here, we send a request to get the post, and the page is 1 and limit is 6. But when we scroll down, it's loading, and we sent the request to get the post again. And for now, the page is 2 and limit is 6. If we scroll down again, it will send the request again and again. So as you can see, the pagination is done in the back end and not front end. And here, for each post, you can see that it contains an image, the username for the person who posted the picture, the date on which the post was created, and the number of likes. Okay, that's it for fetching posts. Now let's move on to post detail. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for post detail. Now let's look at one of the posts, for example this one. And here we have the post image, the username of the person who posted the image, the date of creation, number of likes, and caption. This post has no comments, so let's look at another post. But first, let's look at the link right here. This is the unique ID for every post. It's going to be different for each post. For example, this one is different. This one is also different. And let's look at a post with a lot of comments, which is this one. And as you can see right here, excluding the caption, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comments. And to see more comments, we have to click on this button right here. Alright, that's it for post detail. Let's move on to comments next. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for comments. And as you can see right here, each comment has a username, the comment, and the date of creation. So for the pagination on first load, we can only see 5 comments, and if we want to see more, we can click this button right here, and it will display 5 more comments. But if we run out of comments, then the button will not appear anymore. For example, this is the last comment, so we cannot scroll further than that. Now let's create our own comment. For example, this is a comment, but let's make it especially long. For example, let's copy and paste it a lot of times. And as you can see, the limit for each comment is 300 characters, so we can't add anything anymore after this. Let's delete this and let's create a normal comment. This is a normal comment. And let's submit it. And it will be automatically submitted to the post. Alright, that's it for the comments. Let's move on to like and unlike next. Here are the feature acceptance criteria for like and unlike. And as you can see right here on the post detail, we can unlike the post that we've liked. And we can like it again, unlike it. When we've liked a post, the heart will turn red. And when we've unliked the post, the heart will turn back to an outline. So let's like it back. And let's go to home. We can even like our own post, which is this one. This is our post right here. And we can unlike it. And the same with other posts. We can like as many posts as we want, even all of them if we want to. On the profile, there is no like button, but we can click on the image to go to the post detail, and we can unlike and like the post here. Alright, that's it for like and unlike. Let's move on to the additional features next. For additional features, we got responsivity, search username, change password, and page not found. First, let's look at responsivity. And here is our landing page once again. We can open the console. And we can adjust the viewport by dragging this bar right here. And as you can see, the appearance of the website will adjust to the size of the viewport. And it's the same if we open the sign up modal. The size and the position of the sign up modal will be adjusted based on the viewport. And the same with forgot password. Alright, now let's try logging in with our account, which was Jane. And password was password123 with an exclamation mark. As you can see right here, in our home page, we can see 3 posts in a row and the screen is white, but when we make it more narrow, it will become only 2 posts in a row. And the navigation pane will shrink. And once it gets narrow enough, we can only see 1 post in a row. Now let's look at one of the posts. For example, this one. And as you can see, when the screen is narrow, you can scroll down to see the comments. But if we make the screen more wide, it will become side by side like this. Now let's try opening up one of the accounts. For example, this bread cat right here. And as you can see, we can see 3 posts in a row, 2 posts, and 1 post. And it's almost the same way when we look at the like posts. We can see 3, then 2, then 1. And the setting page is also responsive, as you can see right here. All right, that's all for responsivity. Now let's look at search username. For example, let's enter test. Oops. As you can see, if we enter something in uppercase, it will detect both uppercase and lowercase for the username. And we can only see 10 of the first usernames in the search result. So we have to be more specific if we want to look at other test results. For example, if we want to see test 10, 12, and etc., we can see test 1. Now let's look at something else, for example, A. And we can see all the usernames that contains letter A in it. If we get more specific, for example, let's enter AB, then we can see no result found because we have no username that has AB in it. But if we enter something else, for example, AT, then we can see beta tester, Kato, breadcat, and etc. Now let's enter one of the usernames, for example, Kato right here. And we can see the profile. All right, now let's try to change our password by clicking on the settings right here. And as you can see, the save button is disabled if the fields are still empty or if we still have an error in our fields. So let's enter our old password, which was password. Let's toggle the visibility. Password 123 with an exclamation mark. And the error disappears. Now let's enter the new password. For example, password. As you can see, if it doesn't have all of the requirements right here, then it will say that our new password is weak. Let's enter something different. For example, 234 with a hashtag. And if we enter a password that don't match the password we entered before, then it will say passwords don't match. But if it's a match, then the error will disappear and the save button is enabled now. Let's click on it. And success, our password has been changed. Let's log out and try to log in with our old password. As you can see right here, password 123, and we have incorrect password. Now let's try with our new password. And we are successfully logged in. Now let's look at page not found. As you can see right here, if we click on one of the profiles, it will have the URL of /profile/username. So if we enter a username that does not exist, for example, let's enter something random, then it will lead us to the page not found page. If we click go back to home, then we will be redirected back to home. And if we look at one of the posts, for example, this one, then as you can see right here, each post has its own unique ID. But if we enter an ID that does not exist, for example, let's enter this, then we will also be redirected to page not found. Now let's enter a random URL for the get-go, from the get-go. And we will be redirected to page not found. Now let's try entering a random URL after logging out. And if we click go back to home, then instead of home, we will be redirected to the landing page. Alright, that's it for the website demonstration. Thank you very much for your attention and hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.